You've been trying to lose the same 10 to 30 pounds for months, maybe even years at this point. This video is for you, and it may be the most important video you see all year. Because it's not your motivation that's the issue, it's the mindset around how you think the journey is supposed to look. So make sure to stick around because this one shift can change everything, and I promise you, it's something you've never been told before. And for some of you who are maybe new to my world or maybe don't know who I am just yet, my name is Tyler Jones and I was a former sports sales executive for about a year in the NFL. So let's jump right into it, guys. So, real quick, before I blow your guys' mind, I'm going to share a little bit about my backstory so you guys understand the purpose of this video. Because I was a peak athlete that turned sales pro, right? And I already knew what to do when it came to my health and fitness. I had already been a personal trainer for about 3 years before starting my journey in sports sales. I had already helped over 100 plus people lose stubborn belly fat, build lean muscle, and sustain it for months, even years forward. And I had a good grasp of my health and fitness. I was already working out 5 to 6 days a week, eating right. I was in the peak shape of my life, as you can see on this left side. And in this picture, I was probably around 8 to 9% body fat and around 171 pounds. Feeling good, feeling confident, and ready to start my career right upon graduation. And even though I already knew what to do and I already had the experience, it didn't even prepare me for what, my change of reality was going to be. And, the grind of working 12-hour days, being stressed out, getting barely any sleep, trying to close as many deals as I possibly could in order to fight for a promotion and stay within the sports world. And throughout that process, I was, eating clean attempts. I was you know, trying to go to the gyms, whether it was in the 4:50 in the morning or late nights around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And even though I was trying, I was still inconsistent, but still trying to chase perfection at the same time. And the trap at this point, I told myself I could do it alone. I should be able to handle this. I was a personal trainer already. I already had been a former athlete who played basketball and soccer year round. I had already been at very much the best shape of my life for years, months on end, right? I just felt I needed to do this on my own because I felt like I already had the cards. I already had the system. I just needed to actually do it and execute. How many of you have ever said that? Like, I have all this knowledge. I used to be this. I used to be that. Like, I should just know what to do. Even though my whole world and my life has changed, I should still know what to do. I should still be able to do my old routines and get it done, right? And at that point, the stress, the grind, the inconsistencies caught up to me. And eventually I stopped working out altogether, stopped eating right, relied on, the fast food, eating large portions altogether. And within, 4 to 5 months, I gained 30, 30 pounds, as you can see on this right side. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make who have had previous success with their health and fitness, being an athlete, maybe being a trainer, whatever it is they think they, know it all just like I did, right? They think that they should just be able to figure it out on their own. And it's kind of like, taking that game perfection. Funny enough, I used the word right here, but that game perfection where you're trying to match all the, the shape or the puzzle pieces, and there's a timer, going down. And I felt like I was so much under pressure because I had to do so much in my career and I had to find get this routine going. I had to get everything within the blink of an eye if I still wanted to do well in my career, but also see success with my health and fitness. And I just felt like my timer ran out. And I feel like most people are taking the wrong shapes, whether it's their old routines, their previous knowledge, or maybe something their university coaches, if they played a sport, had, or their high school sport coach had them do, or even like a trainer they used to work with, like whatever program routine they used to on, they try to take that shape and fit it in the world they're in today, and they're in their reality with where they're at today. And most of the time, to their surprise, that old shape doesn't fit in their new lifestyle because it's two different time periods, guys. And that's what I realized. I was stuck because I was trying to make old routines, working out 5, 4, 5, even maybe 6 days a week while working 60, 70, 80 plus hours a week in sports sales and grinding, right? My body just couldn't keep up. And that's when I had the realization, even at my peak, right? My best of the best, I always had coaches, right? I was able to get this physique from having help through coaches over the years. I was able to excel in basketball and soccer, right? By having coaches through the years, right? I was able to get burst into the sports scene and start my career because I had mentors and people that helped me get to that direction, get into that industry. And that's what I realized every time I've tried something solo, that was why I burned out, right? That's why I kind of always, fell back into old bad habits or always felt stuck because I was trying to get out on my own when I didn't have the right strategy routine. And after I had that realization, that's when I had the biggest belief shift that support isn't a weakness, right? And I see that's where I see most people that work in the sports industry, former athletes, just even high performers altogether, they fall into these two folds. The all or nothing mentality where you tell yourself, if I can't do this perfectly, I might as well not do it at all. So you start strong and you crash out just as hard, right? Crash diets, start it for 30 days, go all in and then fall off, right? Eat clean 24/7 just to fall off a month from now. Go to the gym 5-6 days a week for 2 hours a day just to fall off 3 weeks later, right? All or nothing. You're either all in or you're all out. And that's a very common thing I see. And I remember from working in the sports industry, and I still hear from my clients to this day in the sports industry, is that it's very still much all or nothing. You're either all in or all out because someone's always coming for your spot, right? So that's where I fell trap of when I set up here that, eventually I stopped working out because I realized I couldn't do anything. My old routine didn't work. I kept trying to make it work. And I said I might as well give up and quit because there was no point. So again, being trapped in that all or nothing mentality. And number two is seeing support as a weakness. You think asking for help means you're not capable, right? But the truth is, leaning on expertise is what accelerates your progress, just like every athlete does. And that's one of the biggest, funny things or mistakes I see athletes, people in the sports world or former athletes make is like they were at their peak, at the prime of their prime when they had coaches, right? I talk to people in the sports world every day and they talk about their athletic days and when they had coaches and when they were Division I, Division II, Division III athletes, right? Because at the end of the day, discipline doesn't equal structure. Because again, what maybe worked for you before, and you can be as disciplined as all you want, doesn't mean it's the right strategy and structure that you're going to get to. And guys, when I finally accepted that I couldn't out discipline, my career, my long schedule, and that it also didn't equal structure, that is when I finally realized the belief that change is like, again, support isn't a weakness. So what did I do? I reached out and asked for help, especially after running into Jamal Adams in the parking lot and him telling me the biggest piece of advice is always focus on what you can control and not what you can't. And that, again, that led me to reaching out to a coach, the same coach that actually helped me years prior, and get back on a routine and figure out what made the most sense for me going forward and how to navigate my health and fitness through a crazy, schedule and a high levels of stress. And within 4 months of, getting back to working out 3 days a week, focusing on when I used to maybe do 5 or 6 days a week at the minimum, right? Or 4, going into back to tracking, my nutrition 6 days a week and really bringing, awareness to what I was eating and how much I was eating on a daily basis, which I had already done up until this point in the past. And at least drinking a gallon of water a day to make sure I was hydrated because all I was doing is relying on caffeine. And then also focusing on 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, and at the bare minimum, at least half of the week, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night so I could show up my best for the gym and my career. That is when I was able to lose that same 30 pounds I gained in the next 4 months, right? And that's why, again, once I had that mindset, that is when I realized the real ROI of coaching. Because I know most people think, especially if you come from the athletic world, that coaching equals shouting. But I'm here to let you know it doesn't. Coaching equals holding you accountable and removing the guesswork, right? I always say most high performers have the drive, have the motivation. They just need the strategy to get from point A to point B, which makes them some of the best clients, especially the ones I work with, because again, they just need the roadmap and they'll take care of the rest and show up. Support shortens the distance between where you are and where you want to be, right? Because it helps us with our blind spots, guys. You don't know what you don't know, or what you know is limited versus what you don't know is limitless, like Tom Brady said. And a coach helps you find those blind spots and closes the gaps. And it saves you time, mental energy, and endless second guessing. I think, again, that propels the all or nothing mentality or the perfectionist mindset is when you're always second guessing yourself. And what that does is just paralyze you, right? It keeps you stuck and it keeps you from taking action, just like I did, right? So having that coach does that for you. It saves you time and the mental energy. It keeps you consistent while life gets chaotic because you're most likely a lot of times your routines are not going to stay the same. And for me, my routine never stayed the same throughout that 4 months. I was always pivoting and adjusting, and that was from the help of a coach to keep me going in my ultimate direction. And exposes your blind spots, like I said, removes the friction, helps you stop overthinking. And I just want to let you know, you think the cost is the investment. But the real cost is being stuck in the same cycle for another 6 months, a year, or even 5 years or 10 years from now. All because you think asking for help doesn't mean you're capable, right? And it actually means you're capable, and it's the best and most strongest decision you can do is get support because you've done it in your career as well. And you can see on the left, this is what it looks like being 30 pounds back down. And you can see my abs. I'm happy. I'm rolling. I'm confident again. Versus on the picture on the left, you see that I have a smug look. And I'm just like, I can't believe I got to this point. And you can see the rest of some of my clients here, like Andrew, who dropped 25 pounds in only 4 months while working 60 plus hours a week. My client Ryan here that dropped 18 pounds in less than 5 months and now is more lean and getting back to not only weightlifting, but running around his busy 70-hour week schedule. Or you see Drew, who dropped 30 pounds in only his first 4 months so far while working for the Orlando Magic in the NBA. Or Bernadette here, who lost 15 pounds of stubborn belly fat while leading a team as a director of ticket memberships in minor league baseball. Or you see Tara right here, who lost 44 pounds over this last year and taking a picture next to her favorite influencer while working 60 plus hours a week, grinding, and always spinning her wheels because she was also doing it on her own, just like a lot of these other people were trying to do it on their own. So my question to you is, how much longer do you want to do it on your own or believe that you need to figure it out, right? That you need to do it, get to your destination on your own. Because if the longer you have that mindset, as I mentioned, the longer you're going to stay stuck in this cycle and miss out on being the most confident version of yourself that's successful not only in their career, but also in their personal life, having the best of both worlds. Or if you're someone who wants to get the most out of life and have more confidence, more success in your career, but also in your personal life and feel and look your best and finally drop that 10 to 30 pounds you've been trying to do on your own for a long period of time, then click the link below and let's book a free call. And let's hop on a call and see if it even makes sense to work together, and let me learn more about your situation and see if or how I can even support or help, right? And again, not everyone will be a fit, but we can open the door and see what the journey possibly may be like for you and what a roadmap may look like for you. And as always, guys, if you're not ready to make that change, you still want to spin your wheels on your own, make sure to continue to watch my YouTube videos. They will be super helpful for you. The free trainings that I do weekly, you'll still get value and still be able to implement some strategies on your own. And as always, family, if this video was helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will talk to you soon and see you in the next video.